is going to get you walking out of this police station tonight without being charged with murdering Tori Stafford.
So
Right.
why isn't the lawyer there with him?
That's a good question. I don't know, actually.
And why is the interview continuing without a lawyer?
You
And-
know
I
think
how much media coverage this
We might
has.
want to
You
reach out to
know
Viva Fry,
what
who
the
would know a lot
newspapers
more
want to
about
do
this
with
than I do.
And to your family.
I can dig more into it and answer that later or
You
something,
think
but
the cops are going to be talking
Another
to
reason I
everybody you
don't
ever
like
spoke to in
Canada's
your
court
life?
system.
Oh, wait, actually,
That's
technically,
nothing
he's
compared
never
to what the
asked for
media's
his
gonna be
lawyer.
doing. This is a huge story.
He
for
said,
him.
my
This is
lawyer
the
said
next
to do this, but he's
Paul
never actually
Bernardo.
said, I want my lawyer.
Whether you like it or not,
I
a
don't
girl
know.
and a guy kidnapping an 8-year-old girl and murdering her. That's one of the most sensational things that have happened in this province since Bernardo and Carla. It's going to be a frenzy, and you and I both know that. You know what a psychopath is, Mike?
I have never met one.
Well, I just met one tonight.
Ouch.
I just find it funny how you can go full sure on something when you don't know.
Well, Mike, when somebody tells me that they were present when a man killed an 8-year-old girl,
Okay, somebody told you that.
she did.
Okay.
When that happens, okay, we don't say, oh well, maybe after we go golfing for the week, we'll go and see Mike and see what he has to say. That's not the way it works.
No, so let's just pick them up and then say, yep, you did it.
So, real quick, I'm going to
Because
pause.
that's always-
We have someone else who jumped into the stream real quick. Cool Frog, you're live now. Welcome. You have some stuff to contribute, or you want to finish watching with us, or what's up?
Let's finish watching first.
Okay, so I'll leave you on if you want to jump in at any time. Feel free to kind
it's
of
gotta
contribute.
be the right way to go about things.
Yeah.
I noticed that now Mike's getting combative with the detective, challenging him.
I mean,
his
you're at
assertions.
3 hours at
So,
this point with this
the
guy,
last thing I
so
cover off with everybody I talk to in situations like this, Mike, is pretty straightforward. Okay. Rodney Stafford and Tara McDonald have to be notified of this. Okay. First question out of their mouth is going to be what? Did they say why they did it?
I'm sure one of those two will have the answer for you, why somebody would do it.
What are you getting at, Mike? What are you throwing out there for me, buddy?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're gonna talk to them anyways.
You know what, Mike? If you're going to claim you have no involvement whatsoever, don't play games with me and throw out little hints and see
No,
what comes of
There's
it.
no game, there's no little
Okay?
hints.
There's nobody involved in this except for you and Terry Lynn.
We're done.
Is that what you said to Tori before you killed her? We're done.
Funny man.
that was
Funny
pretty
man.
oof.
That's what you think this is funny,
I think
Mike?
you're a funny man.
I think you're a cold-blooded killer. Because you and I haven't spent too much more
It's
time
being very
now
forward now.
than you forced
Oh, yeah.
Tori Stafford to spend in your car. You could have let her out anywhere along that route. You could have killed her without sexually assaulting her. And that's what I wanted to sit across from tonight. See what it's like to sit across from a guy who, when he abducts an 8-year-old girl, is so turned on by it that before he kills her, he has to have sex with her. So if you ask me why I'm sitting in this room, I'm sitting in this room for Tori. Making you squirm, putting you through some of the grief that you put her through. That's why I'm in here, Mike. And I'm having a good time. You are a sick puppy, Michael. Eight years old, Mike. 8 years old, buddy. All she wanted to do was go home and have a little party for her friends because her mom just redecorated her room for her. that's pure evil, but exactly.
I like the Canadianism that came out. Pure evil, bud.
Yeah.
That's what you
Go for
are.
a dart,
No
bud?
remorse, no empathy, no nothing. You're just hollow. The nice thing about the place you're gonna be spending a good chunk of your life is they actually have glass cells. So you and Bernardo can make googly eyes at each other all day, whatever you guys do in there. So
What the fuck was that?
I have no idea. Canadian thing?
This is the kind of room you're gonna be spending it in.
Is he giving up on the interview?
No. Oh god, no. I think it's the end of the video, though.
Well, it's like over 3.5 hours. Uh-oh.
And it was all for this little girl right here. Not just Tori, but for every little child in Canada that doesn't deserve what happened to her.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. 31-year-old Michael Rafferty has been found guilty of murdering, kidnapping, and sexually assaulting 8-year-old Tori Stafford. It's been nearly 10 very long weeks of trial in London, which is where Laura Zilke has been covering this story since the very beginning.
In the courtroom, when the verdict was read out, there was a collective sigh of yes for each time one of those guilty verdicts was read out through friends and family. That came with the reading of each verdict. Guilty of first degree, guilty of abduction, and guilty of sexual assault. Lawyers from both sides of the story came out to speak with us as well. Their reaction, everyone appreciating that justice was done here, and every one of them also thanking the work that the jury had to do for having to sit through this case for, as you mentioned, Carolyn, almost 10 weeks.
It's been a long and difficult trial for everybody. The trial is finally over, so that's a good thing. But the verdict means that the jury has found that Michael Rafferty did kidnap, sexually assault, and murder Victoria Stafford, and our thoughts are with Victoria's family.
Is it a hard decision for you to take a case like this?
It's never easy, but honestly, I mean, somebody has to take them. I get asked that question more often than almost anything else. How can you do a case like this? How can you defend such a person? The reality of it is that everybody in our system deserves a strong, proper, and effective defense.
Even before going into the courtroom, there was really a sense of excitement. I think a lot of the family thought that because the verdict did come so quickly, just over a day of deliberations, they truly believed that this was going to be a guilty verdict. Then going into the courtroom, that simply continued. The relief that went over this, it was really almost unbelievable to hear the sighs.
The reporter's having a hard time with this.
Carolyn.
Both Michael Rafferty and Terry Lynn McClintock were sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole for 25 years.
They forgot. So Rafferty is actually on the dangerous offender. He's not getting parole. McClintock actually did get parole, and it's been less than 25 years, actually.
So his reaction during that was kind of what I would have expected from someone who that emotional piece is missing. What I did do recently, and this was probably a couple weeks ago at this point, is I listened to it was the do you guys remember the Slender Man stabbing that happened a while back?
Yeah, I
the 12-year-olds or whatever.
Yep.
So there's the police interrogation of both girls that were involved in that stabbing, and one girl is 12 years old. She was diagnosed with schizophrenia, and it's obvious. At some point you're kind of like, yeah, she's got shit going on, and then the other girl, her friend. If you watch that, and you can see like the difference between someone who's got a severe like mental disorder, like schizophrenia and psychopathy, the disconnect to the emotions, versus say someone who participated, maybe did believe that, for example, did believe Slenderman was real, but feels awful for what happened. Like the kid is fucking bawling. The one girl, she's like, I wanted to get help, and you can get a sense of genuineness in it. Doesn't mean she didn't fuck up and do wrong, but to me, that was an interesting, like, and I might do an episode on that. We'll watch that, like those videos, and just see the difference. and you can see the behavior difference because it's really insightful. And
Ken,
like,
did
what
you get? Did you take umbrage with anything that the analyst had said about Michael's behavior?
What do you mean about him being with the psychopathy stuff?
No, not the interrogator, but the person who did the breakdown of the video.
I like him. I've seen some of his videos before. He seems pretty very well versed on what he's talking about. I think he was kind of more hands off on the video. There wasn't too much. I think it was more of here's what's on display. Here's some things like I can kind of point out. I think I've seen other videos of his where it's more like what is it? More in depth, more analysis is added. Let me see, where the fuck is it? Because if, for example, because he called him a psychopath, and if I look at the diagnostic criteria of it real quick, I don't know enough about him.
Who called him a psychopath? The
interrogator.
Oh, so well, you got to understand that we use that word quite loosely.
Well, he's a forensic. He does forensic psychology stuff. So in his job, in his interrogation capabilities. So
but
I think he would know.
Too, like, because remember, I asserted before that like
See you, Lito.
Every single word he chooses is purposeful, right?
To some degree, yes.
Yeah, I wonder too, because remember, you're interrogating someone who's got the layman's understanding of psychiatry. So I wonder if using that word, he used it incorrectly on purpose because he knew Michael would interpret it as a certain way.
Yeah. So like, here's your diagnostic criteria for psychopathy, at least the upper part, because the other shit all can kind of be like, it's whatever. But this is the part that most people are going to like care about is, pervasive pattern of disregard for and violation of the rights of others occurring since age 15 years as indicated by 3 or more. Also, antisocial personality doesn't mean antisocial in the sense of like, I don't talk to people. It means antisocial in this context means like against like social norms and social expectations and stuff, because that can kind of trip people up. I know people have, I don't like the way it's named like that, but normally you'll see sociopathy and psychopathy fall underneath this category because they no longer exist in the DSM, but they tend to overlap with the symptoms in ways. So like failure to conform to social norms with laws, repeatedly performing acts that are grounds for arrest, deceitfulness as indicated by repeated lying, use of alias, conning others for personal profit or pleasure, impulsivity, failure to plan ahead, irritability and aggressiveness as indicated by repeated physical fights or assaults, reckless disregard for safety of others or self, consistent irresponsibility is indicated by repeated failure to sustain consistent work or other work behavior or honor financial obligations. Lack of remorse is indicated by being indifferent to or rationalizing having hurt, mistreated, or stolen from another. So this right here is something I would say would probably be present in his behavior, right? So he wasn't an emotional mess because of what he did, right? And he also wasn't like, because if it was me and I didn't do that shit and I'm stupid enough to talk, I'm going to be standing up for myself. Like, I'm going to be like, you have it, even though, I'm wrong to talk because you shouldn't talk to the police. I'm going to be like, no, it's not something I would do. I would never like.
But Ken, points 2, points 2, 3, 6, and 7 are exhibited by every woman that I know.
No comment. But
that's true.
He's not wrong.
Also, I wanted to correct something I'd said incorrectly earlier. Terry Ann McClintock is still in jail. She has not been paroled. She's actually in the Edmonton Institute for Women right now, so that's not far from where I live.
What was her sentence?
She was transferred to a healing lodge, which is a prison. It's a minimum security prison.
A fucking lodge?
Yeah, so a indigenous healing lodge. Okay, so, oh God, this is a whole video on its own, but I'll try to very quickly sum this up. There is the Gladue decision, which asserted that Indigenous people have rights to trials and punishments consistent with our spiritual beliefs and teachings.
Mm-hmm.
Consistent with, not, it's consistent with. So Terry Ann McClintock claimed she's Indigenous.
How do you verify that?
Well, you can't. The threshold to be Indigenous in Canada is very low. You simply need to find your ancestor.
Okay.
Right?
Do you have to DNA prove it, or can you just claim it?
You can just claim it.
Oh, sweet. Doing my crimes
did.
in Canada from now on.
Which she did, and was accepted into the Healing Lodge.
Sweet.
Now, the Justice Minister in Canada, so all of Canada's criminal stuff is handled at the federal level. So the Justice Minister in the Liberal government, which... hang on a second. No, that was not Justin Trudeau. That would have been before him. That would have been the Paul Martin, Jacques Chrétien government. I think it was Paul Martin. As Ralph Goodale was the he was the minister at the time.
What was her sentence? What's her sentence length now that it's switched or whatever? Like
they were both. It does look like they were both sentenced to 25 life sentence without possibility of parole for 25 years.
Then how does she have the pussy pass? If you said that earlier.
That she got to the fucking
healing lodge. The lodge itself. Okay, just making sure. Cool Frog joined us while we were finishing up the last like 5 minutes of the video. You have some interesting stuff to contribute, I think, from what I was seeing in the chat.
Possibly.
Go for it, man.
So
floor is yours.
As the young man is sitting there, and he's got two cops that are sitting there. I've actually been on that young man's side. Only the fact that I never actually did anything. I was actually an innocent man. And having a cop, a psychologist, drill you and ask you questions, even though you didn't do anything, you look at him and you're like, why are you planting this information on me? No matter what. It's super difficult.
I would imagine.
Have something like that happen. To have that second cop come in there, oh my Lord. I would have flipped. It was nice enough for me where the one cop left and the other one come in and tried planting more, information on me or whatever. And I'm just like, I'm like, no, you got this wrong. And they're like, no, we have this right. And I was in a small town. So the jail was full. They wanted to hold me. So with the jail full and they wanted to hold me, they went and they put me and the young lady that was in the house where this child was in a hotel room so they could keep surveillance on us for 3 nights. Mm-hmm. Basically a 72-hour hold. Did a little bit of tried doing some psychology stuff with us or whatever to see if we actually did anything or whatever.
Yeah,
it happened to be that the child had passed from SIDS, so it was a natural thing. It wasn't anything that either one of us could have prevented from happening.
Yeah,
other than the fact that if we could have actually been there to actually physically stop the child from choking on itself or whatever. I mean, when it is a very awful thing. So anybody that doesn't know anything about SIDS, look it up. Oh my Lord, it's something. It's very scary, and
that's I'm sorry that you had to go through all that.
No, right, it is very difficult, and especially when you have cops that are drilling you or something like that. That cop that sat there with him for what seemed to be 3 hours or whatever. That was a little drastic. I would have seriously. I mean, even I didn't, last that long with a psychologist sitting in front of me or whatever. I'm like, I need a lawyer. And he's like, what? I'm like, I need a lawyer apparently because you're not believing me. And
so, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So then it took the 3 days of investigation or whatever for them to actually get the documents back from the coroner or whatever that said that it was actually SIDS, so that it took us away from actually being charged with anything.
Still, it's the several days that you just don't want to have to deal with, obviously.
Exactly. 3 days that we couldn't go anywhere. We couldn't do anything. We were actually allowed to walk across the street to the local Hy-Vee and come back, so we were able to go get something to eat and come back to that room or whatever. And, it was a long 3 days. I dissolved the relationship with that person immediately afterward. As sad as that is, the child wasn't mine; it was hers and somebody else's. So I mean, it was very scary, difficult. I was young. How long? I want to say I was 21. Not to age myself too much, but I'm 44 and a half. You know.
So okay. So it's been a while.
It's been a long while. It's been a long, tedious journey for me. I mean, it led me down to a path of doing drugs. So kind of leads into the segment that you had just before this that I kind of come in on was having ADHD and OCD and really liking to play games, which is the only thing that really kind of keeps me calm. Other than the fact that I do have a child that I'm now able to take care of, and I'm an at-home father to this child. So it's kind of a strange household, but at the same time, very normal. As she goes to work, I stay home with the child. I make sure that there's food on the table for her. But I am a man and she is a woman, and that's the way it is.
Someone asked, do you face any stigma after that, or do people treat you differently, or how has that been?
Absolutely, for a long time.
Was your name ever cleared legally, or does it still pull up as a charge?
My legal name, if you actually looked it up, you would actually see there's an extensive line of things that actually did happen, from car theft to drug use. Nothing major.
But does the charge come up, or did they charge you, or were they just holding you?
No charges. It was just a hold for the 3 days. But it was just watching this young man go through what he had gone through. It totally brought up how I felt sitting with this psychologist in front of me.
Was it a psychologist, or was it an actual investigator?
There was a detective investigator. There was a detective. And then there was this criminal psychologist that was the one that talked to me the most. I was currently dealing with a credit card fraud at the time, which it was the stupidest thing I had ever done. It put me on 5 years of probation.
God damn.
Yeah, it was the worst thing that I ever freaking did was sit on 5 years of probation. You get asked that you want to go on probation and you want to go to jail for a year, go sit in jail for a year. Sit on probation for 5 years is so hard because you can't do anything.
Yeah, you really can't fuck up.
You're on a chain. So every time not to dox myself too hard, I'm in the state of Minnesota. So in the state of Minnesota, on probation for 5 years, each time that you got in trouble, she was like, "Oh well, we'll go and we'll put you. We're gonna give you 10 days."
So can I ask you a few questions if I don't mind?
Yeah,
if you don't mind, and feel free to tell me no or don't answer them if you don't want to.
No, absolutely.
It is having gone through that, and especially the stigma following it is what I'm interested in. And Phil, I'll love your take if you have any at this.
Very long, hard.
How do people?
Road.
How do they treat you? What do they do? Do they say things to you? Do they avoid you? Like, what was that? Like, what was that like?
Absolutely. There's a lot of people that immediately took it to the point of, "Oh, you murdered this child." It's like, no, I did not. I did not. And it's hard. It's so hard when somebody comes up to you and says, "Oh, I know you did." No, you don't. You didn't know anything of what I did. I know what I did. I know a lot of things that I did.
Does it still follow you to this day, or is people pretty much
only
kind of let
personally?
It go? Okay, because I know you said you have a child, so I didn't know if people would like.
I have several children, so I mean, as far as that goes, long hard road of drugs. 20. I'm older than that. 23-year-old son, 13-year-old daughter, and now I have a 2-year-old son that I'm taking care of.
Well, congrats on moving past all that shit somehow.
10 years apart. I was such a leftist, such a ridiculous leftist for the longest time. I thank Donald Trump. Seriously, if it wasn't for a lot of this stuff that happened, George Floyd actually changed a lot for me. A lot.
You know, George Floyd was a positive impact on my life too.
As much as people actually say that, he was he was this, that, or the other. He died from fentanyl. We all know what he died from. Sorry, I don't want to get you demonetized, but we all know that's the truth.
Too late.
We were talking
about a child abduction and rape
so,
the last hour.
I Phil, I want your input on this if you don't mind. What are your thoughts on hearing this gentleman's story, and as it relates to the MGTOW movement in a way, kind of not to like segue off.
I got something for you on the MGTOW stuff.
I'm sure you do, because I see Phil there, and I'm like, I know Phil's got a spicy take or two I could probably get from him. So what do you got for me, Phil? I know that there's something.
Well, just given that, you get accused of something, you've got to prove innocence as a man, whereas it's almost a given as a woman. They'll just let you off easy. Man. Yeah. All of that sort of thing. So, given all of those dangers, I mean, is it worth interacting? But I mean, like, you would expect me to say this, like, as a MGTOW guy. I mean, it's pretty vanilla stuff from a MGTOW.
Don't interact with women. Buy doll at the-doll-house.com.
Well, to be honest, I mean,
the robotic monotone voice.
So, sorry to interrupt, guys, but I got to get going. We got to record our bonus episode.
Oh, you're good. Thanks for hanging out, Laust.
Can't wait to see it.
Also, Cool Frog, if you're interested and you want to tell your story a bit more, you're welcome to that if you'd like to. If you want to come on here and tell that story in the future, kind of give people an insight into what that experience is like. What
I'd love to
go do the emotion. Go through the kind of the emotional roller coaster of it,
I'd love
and
to.
like what it was. In the hours, the days, the weeks, the months, how it's impacted everything from social, like just saying hi to your friends to dating. Like there's so much shit that could be like fallout from that.
So it's been a long 2 years of being clean.
Yeah. So the SIDS incident was like what, 20 years ago or something?
Yeah, that would have been 20
something years.
20
back in the 90s.
Yeah, 23 years ago. Yeah, back in the 90s.
Yeah, so
I'm like I said, I'm 44. I was supposed to graduate in 95, 96. I got a GED instead because I was old enough to.
No shame in that.
State of Minnesota at the time.
Hey,
we were
that still counts.
Right. State of Minnesota was 16. You could drop out and you could do whatever you wanted. I still stayed in high school until I was 18, but I felt like all my friends were already gone because they all graduated in 95. So I went and I jumped on the get that GED, whatever, and aced it in the 98th percentile. But then, still hung out with my drug-addled friends. And
so
hey, you got your shit together, though. That's all that matters, man.
It took me a long time.
No one takes that from you. Don't let anyone ever take that from you either.
It took me a long
time. The thing
time.
about SIDS is that it was really, really prevalent for like decades until like doctors figured out what was causing it, or at least how to mitigate it. And once they figured that out, they started giving like parents advice on how to put your baby to bed, like always put them to sleep on their back and whatnot. And that's actually reduced the number of SIDS cases dramatically in the past 20 to 30 years since doctors started doing that.
Yeah,
that's good.
Having the multiple children or whatever and going through child birthing classes with each one of them, all 10 years apart, the class is totally changed, and they totally made that a big thing between the 90s and the 2000s for sure. It was a huge thing.
Oh yeah, because that's what the pediatrician told us when my nephew was born.
Yeah.
So what did you think, Phil? Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Cold
Even how you dressed your child was necessary for them to tell you where the snaps and where the zippers went. So you had to make sure that you dressed your child correctly so that they didn't roll or they didn't do whatever and they didn't move. There's a lot of change that they did in there. The last one wasn't. They didn't go so much into depth on that one in the last 2 years or whatever. They kind of weaned away from it a little bit. So
Phil, what do you think about? Shit, what was the way I was going to say this? What did you think about the video? Did you see the guy as someone who seemed remorseful for his actions? Do you think he's like a true, like someone who was used, like kind of what our intention was to see if it was someone who had a sexual interest or whether it was something outside of like a sexual attraction or interest? What are your thoughts on that? Because of knowing some of the facts of the case from that.
Well, the forensics are leaning hard against him, but for his reaction, it could go either way. He could be guilty, or he might be innocent. Although it's hard to sort of like think of somewhere that he could be, given the way the forensics are. But
yeah,
I wouldn't have said he wasn't screaming guilt in his reactions to me.
Say, I didn't see that either at this point. And as far as he didn't say much, but his behavior was also to me suspect. I would say it's not what I would expect to see from someone who fucked up, or if they did do it, some people might want to claim ownership of it and say, oh yeah, I fucking killed that bitch. Because think about it, if it's someone who's suffering from like delusions, they might be like, yeah, that girl was clearly asking for it, or she was eyeballing me, she was a threat, it was like anything. Like there's so many fucking ways that can go. And
I just posted a tweet the other day about Alec Baldwin and his stuff or whatever, and I said, if somebody was shot in front of me, yeah, damn right, I pulled the trigger.
Ouch. Yeah. That's a bit of a. That leaves a bit of a.
It's the truth. I'm seriously. I'm so sick of the lies and the bullshit that people go around and tell. I'm so sick of it.
I could see why. With all that.
I've dealt with so much, and being on the left for so long, and being such a leftist on everything, you just kind of you're like, why was I so gross? Why was I so disgusting?
So what changed you?
My wife. I met my wife on the 20th of September, and I married her on the 27th of September 3 years ago. We had a child, and we couldn't ask for anything better.
So kids can be very beneficial to
religion helped too.
Say, I'm not a religious person myself, but I don't knock it because I've seen the benefits people get from it. And if that's what you need in your life, I'm not going to tell you no.
Right. As a child, my parents, they baptized me and confirmed me all the way through, Christianity or whatever, through the Roman Catholic Church. After that, kind of like, nah, that's a cult, and I kind of revolted or whatever, and did a lot of, whatever. Still went back because I still believed that there was a higher God, spirit there or whatever, and I still read the Bible. It's more of a Christian side of it, more as opposed to that Roman Catholic is, so forced and disgusting with some of the stuff that they do. It just kind of, it's kind of hard to go back to that.
Say, and like I've said, if that's what you needed to get yourself together, to get your shit straight,
and that's what it comes down to is what makes you feel better about yourself, about being you, as opposed to being something that somebody else wants you to be. I'm so sick of people's attitudes about stupid crap.
No, I definitely would agree with that. It's people, and especially when you've been through something like you have, that can skew a lot of things for you, right? So how do you, in a way, how do you begin to repair that? Do you ever? And, I don't.
Somebody else's help is always the best.
Well, I mean, I'm always actively going to tell people to do therapy because I see a benefit from it.
Exactly. Somebody else.
There's so much shit you can get,
because you can actually talk to somebody and you can actually explain to them what you did, how you feel about it, and why you did it, and they can explain to you why you shouldn't do it and how to get you past that.
It's true. Sorry, damn it! I clicked the wrong button on. Sorry. I meant to do something and I actually, how the fuck do I fix this? Oh, there we go. Sorry.
I see this comment here. It says the simplest red pill to lefties. The simplest red pill to lefties. Seriously, PragerU. Just show them a couple PragerU videos, and they'll totally be like, "What? Wait a minute here, really? That's oh." They'll do some more research once they actually see something. I don't.
Or mostly, it's just to remember you have critical thinking skills.
And
also a former lefty.
Right, having critical thinking skills kind of doesn't go well with doing drugs. So
I haven't done those unless they're prescribed to me.
I did enough
experience with that.
Right, I did enough for probably all of us, and it's not worth it.
Thanks, I guess.
Lucky for me, I actually watched friends actually go further than I did. I've lost so many friends to suicide from using drugs.
That's shit. I hate seeing people do that.
When I say so many, I mean I lost a brother. I lost
goddamn dude
5-6 close friends, and probably a good dozen whatever, acquaintances. Like I said, I have some ADHD and some OCD problems, so some of my thoughts come out a little choppy. And
no, you're fine. So it's understandable. I got ADHD, and you see the shit that I do on my show. So.
I do. I actually, that's what I'm like. I was super. When I see people have open call links, I'm like, ooh, I want to get out there. I want to try getting my name out there because I play games. I don't have a video editor though, so my games are really raw and hard to watch. So I have like 5 subscribers on my channel. But I want to try changing. I want to try changing.
If you want to make, if you're trying to, I don't know what your channel's focused on, but if you want to grow your channel, I think take the concept of, I don't know if it's just something you're trying to do in general, or if you don't have a direction yet, because I
really just doing anything. I like seriously, like I said, this channel of Cool Frog is a gaming channel. There's like 13 episodes of City Skylines on it.
You have a story and a history with everything that you've gone through that if you use in the right way can be like one of the reasons I love doing this is even though there's only 15, 20 people watching a day, is I've hopefully made some impact today. Whether it was educating people and about things they were maybe incorrectly informed about, helping people understand mental health and psychology better.
I just met Dollhouse Phil last night on Flashcast for the first time.
Phil is the shit. He's amazing.
He's straight up dude. I like him. He's fun.
He's pretty cool. So hopefully you'll like Phil a bit more after today.
I don't dislike people until I actually meet them.
So
it's seriously wrong to dislike somebody before you actually meet them. I mean, obviously, obviously, we can all dislike actors and actresses and politicians or whatever because they're shoved in our faces, so we all know who they are.
I did want to point out something. I don't want to say it's funny, but based off of what Twisted and a couple other people were saying in chat earlier, and it's kind of sad Tim's not here for it, but that famed detective Jim Smith's interrogation techniques derail murder case, that would be the interrogator that was over the one we just saw. Basically, I read this a few minutes ago, and basically he ended up a judge overturned his sly charm and ruthless percent of confessions have derailed a major prosecution, leading a judge to rule a suspected murderer's admission of guilt was involuntary and possibly false and therefore inadmissible. With no other evidence against him, Corey Armishaw, 26, was cleared of second-degree murder over the 2006 shaking death of 3-month-old Jaden Lindemann in I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. Fuck that.
Gilf.
Yeah, okay. Gilf. Gilf. Got it.
I think it's Guelph.
I think it's Gilf. I think Phil knows why I'm saying that.
Okay.
So, do you not know what a Gilf is? She doesn't. Don't tell her. Don't tell her. Don't tell her, guys.
Okay.
Don't tell her.
I think I'm happy not knowing.
Yeah, you are. You're very happy not knowing.
God, don't Google it.
Not Googling it.
Yeah.
Google image. Yeah.
Oh, fuck
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. You're safe. You're safe. Interrogation lasted over just an hour and ended with a vague confession that the judge ruled was involuntarily, and quote, obtained by threats of harsh, severe, and unsympathetic treatment from the courts if Mr. Armishaw did not give up the right to remain silent and confess. Oh wow, so that was a bit. And the fact that Canada said that was not okay is interesting in itself. Because, yeah.
Did it say it was the first cup that was unsympathetic or the second one?
Well, no, they were saying that the guy who came in and that was in there, the main.
God damn it, Stegus! Why did you have to spell it out?
God damn it! Say, no, it's not G. It's always been Gilf, not Gmilf. It's always been Gilf. What the hell? Gmilf takes too much to say.
Well, no, I saw Stegus and he said Gilf. And I'm like, are you fucking serious, Stegus? I was better off not knowing, asshole.
Well, now you know.
Now you know. Welcome to the party. He writes that, so this is the judge. Criticism of Detective Smith is biting, even to the point of doubting the honesty of his testimony under oath. Holy shit, Judge. He writes that Detective Sergeant Smith lied to Mr. Armishaw about the evidence against him, engaged in a, quote, relentless monologue. I wonder where we saw that. At a suspect who wished him to remain silent, undermined Mr. Armishaw's lawyer's advice by suggesting the lawyer was ignorant of the overwhelming evidence against him. Damn. Claimed to speak for the courts and offered leniency in exchange for a confession, and placed a false choice before Mr. Armishaw: confess or be damned, in which innocence, though still technically presumed, was not an option. In the effect, the 100-page analysis, oh my God, I need to read that, of Detective Sergeant Smith's interrogation techniques sketches the limits of police interrogation under the charter and reveals weak points in the central technique of minimizing, maximizing, in which the interrogator implies that a suspect is a nice guy who snapped rather than a cold-blooded killer. But is minimizing...
Was he charged?
The guy was charged with killing an infant.
No, I mean the police officer.
No, he was probably just fired.
Because the thing is that the police officer
he wasn't
does
fired.
This. Yeah, but like if he gets his way, he then imprisons an innocent man. So I think that should be chargeable. So you could fuck somebody's life up really hardcore by doing that.
So the suspect they're talking about says dim-witted with an IQ of about 70 and intellectual functioning in the extremely low to borderline range. Mr. Armishaw started dating Kayla Lindemann in the summer of 2006 when she was 8 months pregnant with Jaden, her second child. And by November, he was living with her in the basement of her relative's home. She viewed him as, quote, pretty useless and, quote, just a placement. And both police and Mr. Armishaw believe she was in a sexual relationship with Jaden's father. He got cucked. After Jaden died from brain injuries consistent with shaking, police also interrogated Kayla, but failed to pursue inconsistencies in her evidence, Judge Langdon wrote. Oh, he's calling out the PPAS possibly. You see that, Phil?
Good man.
Based in red-pilled Canadian judge, potentially.
Judge Langdon did not kill himself.
Oh, God damn it, Phil. No. Why are you holding this for us? Now, Rip. I don't know if he's still on the bench because this is old, but 8 months after the crime, investigation stalled. Mr. Armishaw was arrested out of the blue and charged jointly with a sexual assault the judge described as minor, and which was ultimately not prosecuted, but which likely added to the sense that police were overwhelming him, the judge wrote. In custody, advised by his lawyers to keep silent. So I guess the lawyers aren't allowed to be present when they interrogate them?
That's shocking.
I don't know.
Her Majesty's Canada.
I don't know. Is that how it works?
That's why in the United States, that shit's not allowed.
Off with his head.
Hold on.
Sounds like a dissolving of Parliament is actually required.
I think we just need to give them a nice prescription of 1776.
I think we need a 51st state, sir. And a land bridge to Alaska.
We finally need to make the hat ours. So,
exactly.
You won't
Make it a MAGA hat.
You won't do 52.
So apparently, this is from 2010. It's a news article from CTTV.
We'll talk about 52 later. Damn it.
It says no right to lawyer during questioning SEC rules.
That's bullshit.
So Canadian suspects of serious crime do not have a constitutional right to a lawyer present during questioning by authorities. The Supreme Court of Canada said today. This is in 2010. I don't know if it's changed. It's just one of the first articles I found on it.
The bullshit that happened to that dude is why they need to have a fucking lawyer present.
So in 3 decisions released Friday, a sharply divided court ruled that a suspect's right to have counsel, specifically where the charter's right to counsel extends beyond being able to call and talk to a lawyer after being arrested. In the central case, the court ruled 5-4 that Canadians have no right to a lawyer sit in during an interrogation. The charter does not mandate the presence of defense counsel throughout a custodial interrogation. The majority decision said, precedent is against this interpretation. The court said police cannot force a suspect to participate in an interrogation, but that the suspect does not have the right to have a lawyer there if they choose to participate in the interrogation. The police are not empowered by common law or by statute, and still less by our Constitution, to prevent or undermine the effective exercise by detainees of either their right to silence or the right to counsel, or to compel them against their clearly expressed wishes to participate in interrogations until confession, the court stated. The court specifically noted Canadians do not have the same rights as Americans do during interrogations. We are not persuaded that the American Miranda rule should be transplanted in Canadian soil, the majority decision said. Adopting procedural protections from other jurisdictions in a piecemeal fashion risks upsetting the balance that has been struck by Canadian courts and legislatures.
There is no balance in Canada, and that fucking case right there is why. But that is a fine example of how there is no goddamn balance.
Let me pull the article over to this window. Oh, it didn't work. God damn it. Hold on. But yeah, this is fucking crazy. Like, how? Like, just how? Like, that just doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Why would you want that as your country? So here, this is where we left off. In the same case, along with 2 other judgments, the court said the suspect has no right to reconsult a lawyer midway through an interrogation, except under some particular circumstances. Now that's even worse bullshit. So think about it. You could be halfway through your interrogation, be like, maybe I should redo this or talk to my lawyer because I'm not sure if I should answer this question. You can't ask them if you should not answer a fucking question or something. Police must give the detainee an additional opportunity to receive advice from counsel where developments in the course of the investigation make this necessary. Oh, so
the problem is that the person doesn't actually get a choice as to whether or not they want to participate. They get put in the interrogation room. The cops keep going in and out.
It says here that the interrogations are up to you, according to this. I don't know if that's the way.
That didn't look like he freaking participated in that voluntarily. He got led into that room. And
listen
sat
to this.
There and starved.
The Supreme Court said that there is no right for a suspect to have a particular lawyer if that lawyer cannot be reached within a reasonable amount of time. 2 of the 3 cases had poignant dissents arguing for looser rules. Writing in dissent, the majority cited for a continued reduction of the right to counsel. So this is a dissent. They said what now appears to be licensed is that a presumed innocent individual may be detained and isolated by police for at least 5 to 6 hours without reasonable recourse by a lawyer, during which time the officers can brush aside assertions of the right to silence or demands to be returned to his or her cell, and an endurance contest in which the police interrogators, taking turns with one another, hold all the important legal cards, he said. Damn, that's a nice dissent. So,
that's
God,
coercion. That's coercion techniques.
This
keep
is
the
fucking
room cold,
ridiculous.
Keep them from eating, keep them from sleeping. That's bullshit.
That is fucked up. I hope that's changed.
It's also torture techniques.
That's ridiculous. How can you do that?
Canada's cucked and people don't have rights up there.
But Canada's better than the U.S.
No, they're not. Grass is always greener on the other side, isn't it?
So, but you get free healthcare.
No, you don't.
Well, there's pros and cons, I suppose. I mean, the right to remain silent is wrong. That should not be present.
So you say that. The next article I stumble across is, "You have the right to remain." Oh, never mind. This is Canada. Is literally the title of the article. I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. You have the right to remain. Oh, this is Canada. Literally the title of the article. Mm-hmm.
But your right to remain silent is because you might incriminate yourself, right?
That's from fucking NYPD Blue. He's actually really good at that show.
Phil is correct.
See, the point is, if you're trying to get, but the point is, if you're trying to find out what actually happened, the right to remain silent just kind of implies guilt. So you're just preventing justice from happening if you do that.
Say, well, are you being serious, or is that a joke? Just to make
serious.
Okay. Well, the thing is from the way, and I think Nick's explained it, and I agree with it, is that it's on the state to prove beyond a reasonable doubt you did something. You don't have to do anything to help them with that process.
Correct.
So so you could be completely innocent and don't want to say shit, and that's fair. Because knowing how, if you've ever watched the "Don't Talk to Police" video that's on YouTube, highly recommend the fucking thing. Because you hear both from a lawyer and from a guy who is in law school who used to be a really good fucking detective who went to law school and tells you all the ways they trip your ass up. And I watched that the first time and I went, motherfucker. I was like, I ain't saying shit.
I haven't got anything against that, but when you get to like court, I'm going to plead the fifth or whatever. It's like, really? What level of innocence can you have if you're not going to say anything?
I mean, I could see where you're coming from.
Yeah, but you do have here. It's one of those things that we built into our Constitution that you don't have to say anything that could possibly incriminate yourself.
It's the difference in charge is basically what it is. Is if you between a 5th degree and a 1st degree charge, if you go and you break somebody's bone, it's a 1st degree charge in the state of Minnesota anyway. You go and you get charged with an assault, and they're like 5th degree assault immediately. You have the right to a speedy trial. You go in, you get the speedy trial. You don't say a damn word. You get the 5th degree assault. All of a sudden, the broken bone comes into play, and you're like, "Oh, he's already been charged." You don't get charged with that broken bone because they can only charge you once. It's a $50 fine instead of a broken bone, which is, I believe, $1,000 fine and maybe a year in jail or something. So, I mean, shut up.
Yeah, like this right here. This is from a 2014 article, so 4 years after that Supreme Court thing. No, you're fine. It's an interesting point. And the right to speedy trial is actually really good. It has big benefits and big risks, because it makes the state have to put together their shit real quick. Right. But it also means you don't have time to mount a defense as well. That's why a lot of people waive it.
I use the simple, easy one of like a broken bone or whatever. You go and you break somebody's finger or something or whatever. There's a difference of getting a 5th degree and getting a 1st degree.
So, nor do the police have an obligation to stop questioning a detainee. Okay, apparently they don't have to stop, even if he repeatedly and emphatically asserts his right to silence. In fact, God damn, I'm tired already.
It's okay.
It is often the case that police interrogations are far more determinative of the outcome of a criminal matter than any part of the trial. So that's sad. That the police interrogation is where they make the court's where shit's supposed to be determined, not in the fucking interrogation. That's to me like the court has a purpose.
Next sentence or whatever said something about the prosecution. The very next sentence is just more often than not decide the course of the particular prosecution. That's why they say shut up.
They said in that small interview room.
The small interview room is what does the most.
Well, if you agree and admit to something, then they're just going to run with that, aren't they?
Because they can lie to like a motherfucker to you. You can't.
If you make a mistake though, and you actually say something that you didn't mean to say, they can still hold you for what you said.
Like they can trip you up for little things.
You have the right.
I mean, in terms of not saying anything specifically as well, in lieu of actually having a lawyer present. I don't have any problem with that, but when you get to a court level and we need to know actually what happened to be able to exact justice, I don't think anyone should be able to fall silent.
I just don't feel comfortable with forcing anybody to speak ever, though.
No, right? Exactly. Well, if I did something and you come and you can charge me with whatever you want to charge me with, and you're going to drag me through court, I'm going to sit there and I'm not going to say a word the whole time.
Well, I know, but the whole American idea for silence is because you might incriminate yourself, which means that's on the supposition that you are already guilty.
Well, it's also that people say stupid shit in intense situations. Yeah, they say things without thinking, and you might say something that it sounds extremely suspect, and you're completely innocent.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you fucked yourself because you said something suspicious.
In court.
Especially
in court, in the interrogation, whichever.
No, in the interrogation room, I'm with you. But like in court, that's when we're supposed to be actually finding out what's going on.
Well, technically, that's when you're being tried, and that's when the state is presenting the evidence they have to prove that you did what they say you did. That's how our system's set up.
Or somebody else did to you. And if they can then just like say, no, I'm just not going to say anything. And they get
if you're a witness, if you're a witness and they call you as a witness to a crime that was committed to you by somebody that they're putting on trial, that's something that's a little bit messed up. You don't get to plead the fifth too much with that unless you were involved in the crime that was being committed against you.
Well, I mean, like somebody did something to you and they then just so plead ignorance and silence. You would feel somewhat aggrieved by that, surely.
Well, I mean, yeah, probably, but the entire point is that the state still has to prove it because we have the innocent until proven guilty. Them. The onus is on the accuser, not the accused, and that's a big part of how our system works. Is that when you make a claim like that, you have to prove it. So, True. Like if somebody did something to me, and I want to have something, have them punished for it, or like put in jail. If the state takes the case, the state then has to take my evidence and my statements, and then prove to a jury, or a judge, or mostly a jury though, that the person that I said did this actually did it. And they have to present the evidence and then let the jury decide.
Maybe I've thought a little bit too deeply on this one because, like, I don't like the way the court system is set up as well. I don't like the idea of a jury, completely untrained set of people to just decide on someone's future. I don't.
It's
like
set up like
much.
That by design, so that it's open. So that everything's out in the open, you can see the process, and we don't have things like what they had in England back during the time before the creation of the United States, when they had, like, I guess was what Nick was calling like star courts or something, where everything was done behind closed doors. You didn't know what was going on, and people just disappeared. And like they did that type of stuff back in World War II and everything in Nazi Germany, and also in the Cold War with Soviet Russia and whatnot. People just disappeared.
Oh my God!
You didn't get trials and whatnot.
Read this. Look this shit. So apparently, because there's two constitutions in Canada, the French and the English version, the charter or the charters or whatever. Apparently, the French charter has a stronger guarantee of rights for assistance to counsel, but when there's conflicts, they take the broader reading takes precedent. So that means this more specific of assistance of counsel doesn't get the precedent. And as far as some have argued that allowing lawyers to be present during interrogations would unjustly impede the ability of police to properly investigate criminal matters. Still, others argue that not only would fewer people confess, it would be more difficult ultimately to obtain convictions.
I don't know. We do pretty well in the United States. We even convict innocent people. Hey.
Sure do.
I love this, though. However, 50 years of academic research in the United States have conclusively shown neither of these fears is founded. Like, it's fucking own in like one sentence. Like, you can't do better than that. Like,
I mean,
you're
we have
full
an
of
entire
shit.
foundation that's dedicated to getting innocent people out of jail that
Yeah.
were wrongly convicted under our own system.
In a series of studies conducted in the wake of Miranda v. Arizona, a common thread emerged. There was virtually no effect either on the confession or conviction rate. Oh, wow. Police were not unduly frustrated in their attempts to obtain legitimate confessions, and the wheels of justice did not grind to a halt. Why would one expect anything else in Canada? Yeah. Wait,
So
other opponents of these rights have argued that it's impractical for lawyers to be present during police interrogations. Would counsel really show up? Could a lawyer unwittingly become a witness to events that transpired in the interview room? Oh my God, this is fucking retarded. Is a concept, not to use the word offensively, because apparently
Why can't the police just force confessions? Oh my God.
Is that not what they're making the argument, like that the argument is being made for those people who apparently support it?
Yeah.
That like, it's not just me. Phil, do you agree? Or do they make a point that we're missing as Americans?
Hard to say. I don't know which is better.
Feels like y'all are fucked either way.
I think we're all behind the times, actually. We're holding on to like systems that we've been using for like a long while, and I think we could actually do better. But I mean, like, for example, say if you take the jury out of a particular criminal case and you've got a judge who can pass judgment, rarely does, but can do. I would like judgment to be fully automated. I would like to take the humans out of it. So then the law does become somewhat blind, deaf, and dumb, as I previously said. Because, you get these male judges, and like, oh, this woman, she's only killed 45 children and like ate all of like their insides and brains and stuff. All right, well, you can have a 2.5-week prison sentence. Some guy actually looked the wrong way to a woman. That's 45 years. So like, you'll just rid yourself of all of that sort of stuff straight away. And as I've previously said, I don't like the idea of a jury who are essentially lay people with no profession in judging anything. I know it takes a lot of the responsibility of convicting somebody away from like the judge who we pay handsomely to judge these things. So that you can see where I'm going with this. I mean, I prefer a judge to do it over a jury, but I'd also like to take the humanity out of judging.
I don't trust the judge, to be fair, though.
Especially in the United States, because we have an issue with judges being ancient. Most of them not understanding technology. So like in civil cases, you get issues. Well, not all of them. A lot of them are white women. But anyway, you get cases like in the Parler versus Amazon thing, where in the federal case, they had this judge that was appointed by Carter. Like, that's like before I was born. And this person, shut up. And this person, this person is deciding on a case that is technology that came about in the last 15 years or so. This person has no idea what's going on with any of it, and how can they possibly be expected to rule on it? Because they don't know how it works. They don't know what the speed of the internet is.
Are you saying the judge is incompetent?
Yes.
Well, I know that.
Or like family court cases, where you have people that are wholly unqualified to make judgments on what's best for children.
I have a feeling you're hinting at something specific here, but I don't know what that would be.
I think the entire family court system needs to just be abolished, and we'll just handle it in civil court. Damn it!
You literally missed the joke. I mean,
if you're gonna treat children like property, yeah, I know what you meant, son.
Okay, I was just making sure. Because I'm like, this is a perfect fucking joke for this, but...
Yeah, if you're going to treat children like property, just deal with it in civil court anyway, and drop the pretense.
True.
Well, they are effectively, aren't they?
I mean,
What's that?
They do have minds of their own.
They do, but they don't have the right to give consent for anything. They can't vote, so they are effectively in the ward of their parents, right?
Apparently, yes.
So... Can I bring up something that, because I couldn't defend myself last night in chat properly. I don't know if you were paying attention to that shit or not. So I make a small comment about how one of the reasons why spanking is an issue, in my opinion, is because of the inability for a child to consent to, like, they don't understand the physical, like the damage that can come from it, or like how it can be overdone, or things like that. And fucking MP the whole fucking time is like, oh, you're sitting over here arguing about
police?
No. Yeah.
I know who you mean.
But he's like, oh, you're making this dumb argument about how children can't consent to spanking. What kid would consent to spanking? I'm like, you're missing the fucking point. Kids can't consent. So, and it goes back to the core of the issue of needing to use the fear of physical violence to get your kids to listen.
Right. There's a level of violence that comes along with the spanking. Where you spank them really makes a difference. Spanking them on the cheek as opposed to their butt, especially when they're a little baby or whatever, and they still need to wear a diaper. It's the diaper on. They kind of like they can't feel that. It doesn't hurt them.
The problem that comes with it is that even if the kid is a bit older, and even if you don't hit them hard, right? I've seen kids lose their shit over like the thought of getting a quick spanking, and even though it didn't look painful, the parent didn't look like they were doing it hard. That type of fear instilled by a parental figure, like, to me, that's where you can cause lots of long-term issues. And there's been digging on that and research about the psychological impact from it. Not that every spanking is going to cause it,
but that's if you do it too much.
Yeah,
and
too much and too often.
Yeah, and too often. Well, I mean, too hard, too often, like that, and that's
anything with a 2 on it. I mean, it's just too much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think my parents spanked me too often, definitely not too hard.
No,
but
seriously, I only got hit like maybe once or twice. My parents. My dad hit me with the belt once, and my mom slapped me across the face, and I deserved it.
I got spanked multiple times.
I straight up deserved it. I looked at my mom and I called her a B, and she slapped me straight across the face. I deserved it,
bro. My brother called my mom that one time, and my dad knocked him over the couch and across the room.
Well, I was lucky.
I don't recommend you do that.
In the house, and I was already the same size as her in high school. And I still, it shook me, and I just, I stood back, and I totally thought about that one never again. So,
I am never doing that again. That was a stupid decision.
Never again. That was the stupidest thing I ever did.
So
obviously, I lost a lot of respect with my mom.
I only ever got spankings when I was little, and they got less frequent as I got older. I did get smacked in the mouth one time when I was in like high school. And I legit did deserve that. I called my dad a bastard because I was overly emotional at that moment. I called my dad a bastard, and he smacked me across the face.
See, that to me is like...
So I deserved that. I literally deserved that.
I know. To me, the idea of like hitting a kid, just...
I mean, I was close to being an adult by that time.
I don't care. You still are a minor in the eyes of the law. You shouldn't
I think I might have actually already been 18.
But the thing is if you're having to do shit like that, like because I've seen kids I've worked with kids that are like fucking awful. And I've been able to help make an impact and help change the family behavior, the dynamic, without ever needing to spank, to do threats of violence. And you know what the best part is I can get families to work together where the parents and the children decide together on what the proper punishment should be for the household. And it fucking works.
Yeah. Well, years later.
That's what you have to do.
My dad doesn't even remember doing that, but years later, he actually does feel bad about smacking me.
So, it's just it's a personal issue for me.
Wanted to do.
I think there's better ways to do it, and that's just. And I sidetracked, sorry. So, but first, Phil, you look tired, so we should probably get wrapping this up. I did not mean to just drag on for an extra 2.5 hours, buddy. I'm so fucking sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sure you hate me right now.
No, I was gonna say actually. I mean, for what you're saying about like striking children. Surely it depends on the type of child, because I mean, like if you had a fairly intelligent child who can understand like lots of different concepts. You can actually talk to them and reason with them and stuff like that. And then you get some absolute deadhead children who just pick up a hammer and then destroy most of the living room furniture. And then do you just put them on the naughty step for a little while or something like that and just talk to them harshly?
So how old are we?
Absolutely.
How old's the kid? How old are the kids we talking? Like that's what matters.
I mean, if they're able to pick up a hand, yeah.
So picking up, what you said they picked up what again? Because
a hammer.
A hammer.
If they're destroying your house, I mean, obviously you're gonna look at them. You're gonna be like, "What are you doing?"
My first question is, what is causing that behavior? Because
I talk to my child like he's like he's a human being. So I don't goo goo gaga with him or whatever.
Yeah,
So
my parents never talked down to us either.
I look, and he's 2 years old. I look at him and be like, "What are you doing? Why would you do that? That doesn't make sense." If he broke his favorite toy or whatever, you'd be like, "Why would you break your favorite toy? You don't need to break your favorite toy." Because hitting him because he broke his favorite toy is not gonna. He's not gonna want to play with any of his toys.
It comes back to, like, for kids, people tend to forget, and I think parents tend to forget, that they think kids are dumb, but they're also smart, but they also don't remember what cognitive, because even though they're smart, where they're at cognitively in their development, biologically, like if they're a certain age range, a certain understanding, like they may be stupid smart, crazy smart at something, but they may not be able to process, like, say, abstract concepts if they haven't crossed that threshold yet. So trying to get an abstract concept across to a very smart kid, even though they're really smart, they still might not have the ability to process it. It doesn't mean they're not trying to ignore you or understand. And so people don't always factor all this other shit in when you're thinking about making decisions as far as discipline and punishment and all that stuff. So
I see this one that says smack the bottom of their feet. Smacking the bottom of their feet when they're like maybe one kind of stops them from thrashing about while you're trying to change a diaper. When they're two, slapping their feet, yeah, go ahead, try catching them when they're trying to run away from you with no diaper on.
Turkish prison torture, that.
Jeez. My nephew responded real well to the timeout corner. So we would do timeout, and if he did something that was not acceptable, like he intentionally, like it was something that had to be like an intentional act, like we told him not to do something, or he kept grabbing at something and we kept taking it away, indicating that we didn't want him to play with it or whatever, and he kept going at it. Or like if he would throw a fit, we would go sit him down in a space and he had to like stare at the wall. And this is like when he was like 2 years old. So he was still in that range where it was probably too early, but he still responded to it. And we would have him do it no longer than 2 minutes or so. And we would stand there next to him and not talk to him.
Breathing exercises to do the same thing or whatever. So we stop him and we, get him to just sit there and, take a deep breath. Try getting a 2-year-old to take a deep breath. It's really hard to do or whatever. I can get my son to actually take a stop and take a breath or whatever. Sometimes if he gets to that level where he's just tired and he wants to go to bed, and everything's just happening too fast for him, and he starts just to thrashing about, he'll start rolling around on the floor, banging his head against the wall or whatever, because he's tired and he's confused because everything just changed in the room. That's the hard one, because you just look at him and you be like, "Stop, you're okay," and you just kind of hold, you stop. And I don't know if you can hear him. You hear him in the background. He's screaming right now.
Just a little bit.
He's a little bit. He's screaming at his mom right now because something's just not going right for him.
One of the things that, like, when you come to, like, even with younger kids, even with like 3, 4, 5-year-olds, you can come to an agreement with them. Like, my wife just helped my sister-in-law implement a chore chart system and a ticket system to where they no longer just get shit. They no longer get to get away with shit. If they want to get something, they have to earn it. And the first few days were not necessarily pleasant, but by the end of the week, when they were able to redeem their tickets and stuff, apparently it went down really well. And the kids are like really buying into the system now. Like, they'll pick up quickly. They just have to agree to be, like, they got to be part of the conversation. You can't leave them out of it and just set up all this.
Right. I mean, to go along with it, Amazon just sent out a magazine with all the new toys for the season or whatever, what's on sale for Christmas and whatnot. And my son goes, he's flipping through it or whatever, and he stops and he sees the fire truck. And he knows it's the fire truck, and he really wants the fire truck.
Fuck yeah, I want the fire truck.
So then I'd look at him and be like, if you want the fire truck, you'll learn how to go on the toilet, because he's still in his diaper. I mean, he's just over 2, so I mean, he's fine. He still has, another maybe
it's
year,
still plenty of time,
depending on who's training him. I'm with him for most of it or whatever. So, like I said, when I'm with him for most of it, I'm with him with all of it. It's just like the second that he starts pointing at his diaper, that he knows that he has poop, and it's like, no, come on, man, you got to do it before you go poop. And try.
It's a process, but you're doing well. It sounds.
You got to talk to him, and you got to explain to him why he's doing it or whatever. It's not the easiest thing to do to teach a kid to do something.
Say, it's hard, and you gotta. And a lot of parents will get frustrated with it easily, and then they can it's because parents will sometimes accidentally make mistakes. It's easier to recover from a mistake where you don't accidentally hit your kid too hard.
Right.
That's my thought on it.
I don't know if I finished the thought on that or whatever. It was basically you get the fire truck if you learn how to go to the bathroom. So there's a little of a barter system there or whatever. So it kind of his ma looked at me and she's like, oh, we're starting something like that already? And I'm like, well, he's old enough where he's understanding what's going on. And when we say certain things like, are you hungry? He knows that, he says certain words. Ham. I want ham. He walks to ham. You walk into the fridge. He says, he wants ham. He says, the kids are that way. So.
Well, sorry, anyone else? No, you're good. So I think we've hit a good stopping point here, a good discussion. We've been across a wide range of topics. We went from sex dolls to child discipline. We need sex doll discipline now to make sure we wrap. We have to go full circle. How do you discipline your sex dolls, Phil? So
a good spanking. What can I say?
He's a good daddy. God damn it. I'm going to regret this later. No, but thank you. Thank you, Phil, for coming today and enjoying this lovely whatever it is. I don't even know what this is anymore.
It was a thing.
It's always what it ends up being.
Hours.
It was supposed to be over 3 hours ago.
That's my fault.
No, it's my fault because me and Time are not good friends apparently.
So then to close this out, my name's Cool Frog. I do have like 13 episodes of City Skylines out there. They're very rough and raw. Anybody that knows how to do any video editing, I'll totally let you edit my videos for me. Until then, come subscribe so I can get some subscribers. I want to do something. It doesn't have to be just City Skylines. I don't know what I want to do, but I don't want to just sit around on my downtime. I want to actually get on the computer and talk to people like you guys. So
why would you want to talk to me?
I don't know.
I'm an asshole.
Well, I see. I like I said, I was such a leftist when I first came in here. I went and I found Ben Shapiro. That was a little far. I came back a little bit and I found Nick Rekieta. Nick Rekieta is pretty much, I watch him on a nightly basis. Anytime that he has a show on, he's like the only one that I actually joined and he actually gets money from.
Nice.
Which that'll end here eventually because I'm running out of money. Like I said, I'm an at-home dad. So I do have this name, Cool Frog. That's a K with 2 G's on almost everything. When I say almost everything, Twitch, Rumble, Locals, Instagram, Subscribe Stars, Patreons. I believe I have 5 followers on YouTube, and that is it.
Hey, if you want to grow your channel, do it the way I did, through hard work and getting doxxed and losing.
And that's what I'm doing is putting in the work, and I'm here talking to somebody, and I'm actually talking to the rest of the world. Hopefully, there's somebody still out there on hear us.
So I'm gonna do the new unofficial survey on the show because it's gonna piss a specific person off.
Awesome.
So based off of your interactions with me so far today, do you believe I'm a real therapist?
No.
Well done.
Will I talk to you about my issues?
You win, Michael. But
I've talked to you in private. I know damn well you're a real therapist.
I can show you the fucking bookcase full of fucking books from grad school. Jesus Christ.
You use too many freaking therapist terms to not
I can't.
be a therapist.
Look, how do you talk for 7 hours? You be a fucking therapist as a job because it's fucking easy.
Right.
I can talk. I could if I didn't stop myself during sessions, talk the whole session. Just because there's a lot to communicate.
Books and the piece of paper, you're sitting here, you're listening to us. You're a therapist.
Get wrecked, Ken. Oh shit! No wonder why you figured that. There's your problem the whole time. You're on. That's on Ken's casting couch. Ken's casting couch is that channel. That's the Ken's casting couch channel that I don't have any subscribers to, and it's because fucking OnlyFans won't verify me. Assholes.
OnlyFans.
They will literally not verify me. I've had to send them my
account, and I do not have an OnlyFans account.
I have sent them my.
And that is not me.
You have to take a picture of your driver's license. You have to take a picture of you holding your driver's license. Some tasteless nudes. Not the last one, but the first two you have to do.
That's
and they
kind of sort of like what Parler did.
Yeah, but they still won't verify me. They want a bunch of other shit that.
Twitter asks you to take a picture of your driver's license too if you want to get verified. That's just standard.
OnlyFans wants me to send them links to other social media because I guess they don't understand that I'm using a fucking moniker and a fake pseudonym. Apparently, that's too hard to understand. I thought I explained it.
I mean,
apparently not.
Just send them a dick pic and get it over with.
That didn't work last time either, and they told me not to do that again. But so let me
start to verify.
What's that?
How do you get Subscribestar to verify?
I don't know. I don't think I have had to do. I don't use Subscribestar. I only use Locals.
I've been dealing with them for about 3 months now, and I cannot get them to verify me.
Talk to Tim from Tim Lost Bullets that was in here. He's in. He's the producer for MGTOWN Podcast, and he's in and out of Nick's chat and stuff all the time too. He might, because I know they have their Subscribestar. I don't know if he has a contact over there that might be able to help, because I like Locals and I like the idea behind Locals. I don't want to have more than one place because it's already complicated enough trying to post to a few different places. So, so thank you, Cool Frog, for showing up. Thank you, Twisted, for jumping on. Thank you, Phil, for bringing you and the ladies. It's been nice to look at the whole time. Hey there.
Nice to meet
you want to go
on? I mean,
can I take
they
you
look
out
like
for?
They're having a fun time.
Can I take you out for some mineral oil or mineral based oil to lubricate your TPE body or something? I missed the self-care instructions on the TPE material. I bet it's been a while. I remember some of it, but
yeah, Penance she's a cheap date. Just a bottle of baby oil and she's good.
Fair enough. Unlike that other guy, Nick's stream, his cheap date's a bottle of baby powder. So I'm sorry, it was open. I couldn't help it. But
better be talc free.
Everything's talc free now, I think. I don't know of anything that's still doing talc, but because I know they got sued like a motherfucker for that. So thank you everyone for showing up. Thank you, Phil, for the stream today. I appreciate it. We're finally going to jump into Q&A for the Discord. Finally. And so game night, so there's a slight delay on game night and in Discord. So if you go to the locals, if you're a local subscriber, if you're not, you can still subscribe for you get your first month free if you use code BABYSHARK, all one word. Go to kenscounselingcouch.locals.com and I will put that up on the screen and I will post that in the chat as well. If you just go there, you can get your first month free to join the locals. I'm going to start doing locals only streams and start putting some other content up on there. Actually, if you want to get the direct link to get straight to how to sign up, go to this link instead. So go to kenscounselingcouch.locals.com/support, and it'll take you right where you need to be. And so let me put that in the chat too. So let's see. Let me try and type and talk at the same time. So, and I'll also pin that to the top. So use code BABYSHARK to... Oh, God, did I just put myself in timeout? Oh, no, it wouldn't let me. I almost accidentally almost put myself in timeout. I was trying to pin it in the wrong fucking chat room. So, there we go. So, pin that to the top. So, I'm going to leave that at the top while... Wait, what do you mean it failed to pin? That's weird. Do I have to unpin the other one first? Okay. I'm boomering the fuck out of everything today. Message failed to unpin. I don't even know. So, fuck it. There's your link. So, use code BABYSHARK for your first month free on the locals. So, wait. Oh my God, I actually put myself in timeout.
Oh my fucking God.
How the fuck did I do that? Could someone unban me? Or untime me out? God damn it. How? Yeah, you have been placed in timeout by the owner of this video or moderator. Edit. Oh my God. Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh shit, son. Hold on.
How? I didn't think you could do that to me. Ken gets the belt. This is what happens whenever you use spanking. Okay, did it undo it? Is it fixed? Did you fix it or no?
I'm looking to see how I can.
Can you
It's not showing me anything. What the fuck?
Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, yeah, I think I'm fucked. I think I'm screwed. God damn it.
Oh
How
my
do
God,
I
dude. How
fuck
the
this
fuck?
up? I don't even know.
Stag!
No, I think I'm literally screwed for 5 minutes.
Oh my fucking God.
God damn it. How the hell did I do that?
There's not even anybody banned or anything. I can't see the banned list.
I think I'm just in timeout. Let me check the ban list. I cannot believe I just did that. Wow. I totally am doing this like a professional setup. I know exactly what the fuck I'm doing.
I can't even pin your damn message. What the fuck?
Jesus, what the hell did I do? I am so sorry. Let's see here. Okay, I'm not in the ban list of hidden users, so that's good. I didn't fuck it up that bad. So I just checked that on my end. So, but still, I've muted myself.
Good job.
Yeah, probably screwed. So, yeah, you guys, Phil, you can leave at any time. So I'll sit here and chill my locals for the next 5 minutes.
It's okay. I'm just enjoying the train wreck.
Wait, well, no. This is a successful stream. This is a successful and positive stream. I don't know what you're talking about. Let's see.
That's why I'm still here.
God damn it.
Oh God.
Boom, says Cartoon Face.
That didn't work. God damn it. All right, so let me post the link. So I'm gonna post and
I posted it.
You posted the link or pinned it or whatever?
I can't pin it for some reason.
Looks like both of you posted it.
You're a mod. You should be able to pin things.
I can't pin things.
Oh, I
it
think
just
I
says
would.
remove.
Oh, I think I'd have to make you a channel, like one of the channel, like Nick. There's it's a special permission with brand accounts kind of thing.
Yeah.
Can I? It's really weird. So I can't. That's the biggest fuck up I've done today.
Oh.
Outside of going over 3 hours and being behind on schedule and everything, but let's not talk about that.
You weren't too bad off schedule. I made you stay on at least on time. At least start it on time.
I did start on time. I wasn't late and gay for once.
You're welcome.
Thank you. You only sent me literally like 100 messages and tagging me in the Discord.
Every fucking chattel.
He wasn't late.
That's right. He wasn't late because of me.
All right, today's. It's not funny, guys. You don't have to laugh at it. So you don't have to laugh at me.
It's not funny. It's hilarious.
Thank you, Phil. Really doing great for my self-confidence.
Well, you can cancel yourself. You'll be okay.
I've already been canceled once. So. All right, so I'm gonna notify users in real time. So Discord Q&A will start. So it's 7:02 now. What I'll do is we'll probably end the stream, and I will run and use the restroom, and we'll probably pick up the Q&A in the Discord at like 7:15 Eastern. Phil, you're welcome to join. I can get you permissions if you want. If not, you can go to bed because you look exhausted.
Is that in QA chat, is it?
Yeah, it'll be in QA chat, and then I'm going to make a QA voice channel too because I'm still trying to finish the permissions for this specifics for the server because there's a lot of roles and stuff I'm still trying to iron out.
Yeah, he broke Discord too.
Yeah, I know.
You've got a lot of women in your server, haven't you?
I think there's only 3 of us.
The correct answer to that is because I'm a motherfucking PIMP. So you're welcome. I'll be here all night, literally. So, all right. So view channel.
Where's my mates who we've got here? There's Elb. I'm looking at, is it Cariana? Or Karina?
Yeah, I gotta clear out the channel of the other because that conversations aren't supposed to be there. Yeah, you should be in the right one. So if you want to hang around, if not, you don't have to because you've been up all day. I don't know how many people are going to show up. This is the first one. So plus we were running behind like a motherfucker. So
here, I'll just delete the messages manually in there. Jesus, that's all I can do.
Yeah, there's a command to do it. I just don't remember what it is off the top of my head. So I'll figure it out at some point.
I ain't afraid of work, dude.
There's not that many messages at this point to delete, so.
Yeah.
So you said you're working on that? All right, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, Phil perked right up. Yeah, it's only funny when it's taking cheap fucking shots at Ken.
If the shoe fits, wear it, fucker.
I've been supportive all day, and everyone comes in here and shits on me. So
that's what we're here for.
I wouldn't have brought you on if I hadn't expected anything less.
That was quite the cackle there, Twisted.
Twisted is
it's what I do.
Fun. That's what she's good at. So,
it really is.
Toil, bubble, toil, and trouble, eh?
So let me test on my test account to make sure these permissions are right because even when you do the whole preview as role thing, it doesn't actually preview them properly, which is stupid. Like, I had to make a whole separate account to make sure that the thing was set up right. Okay, good. So it looks good in the test thing. Perfect. All right, so I'm going to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and end the stream, and I'm going to post this link to the Discord. Live Q&A will start at 7:15 Eastern time. All right, so that gives everyone a few minutes to kind of filter in. So publishing that, did I make that for locals only? Please tell me I did that one right. I swear to, if I did that wrong, I'm going to be really sad. Okay, this is a premium.
Isn't showing anything.
It's not? What the fuck? So it's not working at all when you type?
Well, all I can see is you've cleared it down nicely. Oh, you're typing now. Yeah, I can see test.
Okay, I just typed that. Okay. So, yeah, I cleared it on purpose because I guess we were shit posting in there earlier so to some degree.
Yes.
All right, so this is a premium post. Thanks for your support. Okay, there we go. So there's the link. I'll assign the proper roles and shit sometime later. Mm-hmm. So I will make sure that gets dealt out. So I'm going to use the restroom. Thank you, everyone, for your attendance. Thank you for everyone who's shown up and joined the discussion today. It was a great discussion. I honestly love the doll stuff. It's a great subject. I think we can do more of this. If you ever want to show your stuff here, Phil, you're always welcome. You've got an open invite to the channel.
Don't forget the website. Show the website.
At the-doll-house.com. You can find access to lovely ladies like Belle on the left, and then I don't remember the chick's name on the right. Penance. You need to go pay some penance later. So you definitely do those techniques that I don't approve of to her. I'm sure you'll be okay. So you can spank her instead of spanking kids. So that definitely came out wrong. I'm getting clipped like a motherfucker today. I swear to God.
Oh my
God.
All
right, so let's go ahead, and I don't have the new outro finished for this just yet.
Guess
so
we're just gonna do it, baby shark.
No, I don't you get? I'm already worried about being demonetized for this. So
Kenny Shark.
Oh, also, I guess since we're on the topic, even though we've totally went off topic, since we did talk about sex dolls earlier, if you would like to help support me in a way that is related to that, you can go to supportken.com/toys, and you can, with that link, get access to some really nice discounts on Lovense branded sex toys and personal devices. They are probably they're really high quality stuff, I hear. No personal experience with that. No, not at all.
Special vibrators, you'll never be able to sit down again.
But Lovense is actually one of the leading brands in developing teledildonic stuff. So being able to like use your device anywhere, like with Bluetooth, anywhere from across the room to across the world. They actually have a fleshlight that will sync with a penetration style toy, like a dildo / rabbit style toy that you can sync the thrusting and the use of the fleshlight to.
Do they call that the Demolition Man? Because that's like having sex without having sex, isn't it?
It is. It's actually interesting. But they have some really neat toys. They're pretty high quality for what they are. So you pay decent. They're not terribly priced for what they are. So hopefully, if anyone's interested,
tell you how to use the 3 shells.
What?
Yeah, I don't want any 3 seashells anywhere near my ass. So just the way.
Oh, you pussy!
No thanks.
Why? What's wrong with the sea? Did I miss something last night?
I think you could cut
Demolition
something.
Man, for fuck's sake,
It's
dude! The 3
goddamn.
shells, goddamn it!
It may have been a while, or I don't remember the movie. So stop hating.
I haven't seen it in like over 10 years.
Aren't I supposed to be the boomer here?
When are the dolls getting teledildonic support? Steak asked. Actually, I can help you with that if you want, because I know the libraries that are being used to help incorporate that.
What
or someone I know.
that?
Teledildonics is like the being able to use devices wirelessly, like the Bluetooth, syncing stuff across the internet.
Oh,
like,
God. I mean, it'd be easy enough to build that in. There's been, Christ, I think it was about 3-4 years ago, we started to build electronics into the heads of various dolls and stuff like that. So Bluetooth and stuff like that's all old hat. So we can build all that in. Not a problem.
Yeah, because they're like the ways that there's a library called buttplug.io. So I'm not even joking. That it's literally meant to work with the more common sex toys.
.io, .in-out, yeah.
No, if you go, if that's what you, buttplug.io, if they have the different libraries for some of the more popular languages to do like interfacing with like movies, video games. That was a really bad time for a scream to happen in this middle of this presentation. Really,
I'm helping you with that.
Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you. Tell your child I said thank you for that
yeah, absolutely. I'm sure he's listening.
I'm sure. Give him a long and lengthy explanation as to why that was great and helpful. So, but no, they're the ability to do that. I think is probably the next step up for dolls, for example. So you might see a benefit in that for some customers. They might want that ability somehow. I don't know how, and you could use it to track vital signs and other stuff too. You could get, if people like data, you could always get like thrust rates and duration and stuff like that. You could do fun stuff with it if you really wanted to. But of course, I find interest in that. So
people are concerned that you're not going to make it to your other show.
I will make it to my Q&A on time. So I'm gonna remove everyone from here. I'm winding down. So thank you everyone for showing up. Definitely thank you, Phil, for all your time. And I will see everyone in the Discord. Like I said, if you're not a supporter, you can still do it. We'll be doing game night afterwards. Cards Against Humanity, Among Us. I think Jeopardy still. We'll figure it out. So everyone have a great evening. So I'm gonna start taking everybody out. Thank you, Twisted. Thank you.